On August 30th, 2023, a date that would soon be etched in the annals of military history, an event unfolded that would challenge conventional wisdom about modern warfare. A quiet night over Pskov, Russia, a city seemingly far removed from the front lines, was about to be shattered in a way no one anticipated. The tranquility of the evening would soon give way to a spectacle of destruction. Deep inside Russian territory, far from any immediate threat, lay a critical military asset. A supposedly secure airbase, a fortress of steel and concrete, housed the prized Il-76 transport planes, the workhorses of the Russian Air Force. These aircraft were vital to Russia's military logistics, responsible for ferrying troops, equipment, and supplies across vast distances. Their importance could not be overstated. Protected by advanced air defenses, layers of sophisticated radar systems and missile batteries, the airbase was considered a safe haven. To many, these aircraft seemed untouchable, shielded by a formidable network of protection. But the threat wasn't stealth bombers, those high-tech marvels of aerial warfare, or even cruise missiles with their pinpoint accuracy. It was something far simpler, something almost laughably unassuming. Suddenly the air buzzed, a faint, almost imperceptible sound that grew steadily louder. Not with the roar of jets, but with the persistent hum of dozens of small drones, an unsettling chorus in the night. Many were made of cardboard and glue, cobbled together with rudimentary materials. Powered by hobbyist engines, the kind you might find in a model airplane, slow, fragile, seemingly incapable of inflicting any real damage. But flying in coordinated swarms, they presented a challenge far greater than the sum of their parts. They slipped under the radar, literally, exploiting a blind spot in the air defenses. Russian air defenses, built to spot fast jets and high-flying missiles, were ill-equipped, struggled to detect these tiny, low-flying intruders, which appeared as mere blips, or not at all. Explosions erupted across the tarmac, punctuating the night with flashes of orange and black. As drones slammed into the Il-76s, their flimsy frames packed with explosives, igniting fuel and engulfing the planes in flames, turning the airbase into an inferno. Soldiers fired wildly into the sky, their rifles and machine guns spitting futile streams of bullets. But the swarm was unstoppable, a relentless wave of destruction. 4 massive aircraft were destroyed or damaged, crippled beyond repair. A devastating blow delivered by what amounted to weaponized toys, a testament to the power of ingenuity over brute force. This wasn't an isolated event, a fluke occurrence easily dismissed. Across Russia, similar attacks struck strategic bombers at Engels 2 Air Base, a facility of immense strategic importance. Damaging aircraft designed to carry nuclear weapons, a chilling reminder of the evolving nature of threats. The message was clear, stark, and undeniable. Even the most powerful assets, those symbols of military might protected by billion-dollar defenses, could be crippled by cheap disposable drones, readily available and easily deployed. The old rules of warfare were being rewritten, discarded in favor of a new, more unpredictable paradigm. The age of the drone swarm had arrived, ushering in an era of unprecedented vulnerability. The world watched, with a mixture of fascination and apprehension, as a new era of vulnerability dawned, exposing the limitations of traditional defense strategies. The balance of power was shifting, subtly but irrevocably. Not with high-tech marvels, but with ingenuity and numbers, a potent combination that could level the playing field. The night sky over Pskov was a warning, a harbinger of things to come. The future of warfare had changed, irrevocably altered by the hum of cardboard drones. The age of the drone swarm had arrived, not with a whimper but with a fiery bang, signaling a new chapter in the history of conflict. How did seemingly simple cardboard drones, often constructed with basic materials, manage to defeat advanced and sophisticated air defense systems? It seems almost unbelievable, doesn't it? The answer lies in a fundamental flaw, a critical oversight in traditional defense thinking and strategic planning. It's a vulnerability that has been exploited with surprising effectiveness. For decades, advanced air defense systems like Russia's S-400 were primarily designed and built to detect and intercept fast, high-flying jets, ballistic missiles, and other conventional aerial threats. They weren't optimized to deal with small, slow-moving, non-metallic drones that present a very different kind of challenge. These drones, often ingeniously made of wood or cardboard, making them incredibly cheap and easy to produce, have extremely tiny radar signatures, making them difficult to detect, and they typically fly at very low altitudes, effectively slipping beneath the radar coverage and exploiting terrain masking to remain hidden. Even in the rare instances when they are detected, sophisticated air defenses are designed to engage only a limited number of targets simultaneously due to processing power and missile availability. Therefore, when faced with a swarm with dozens or even hundreds of drones attacking at once, the system becomes quickly overwhelmed and unable to effectively respond. The situation becomes even more absurd when considering that firing million-dollar missiles at relatively cheap $1,000 drones is simply not a sustainable or economically viable strategy in the long run. Ukraine, for example, can afford to lose a significant number of drones in these engagements. However, Russia simply cannot afford to expend its expensive missile arsenal to shoot them all down, creating a critical imbalance. This stark economic and tactical asymmetry, where the cost of defense far outweighs the cost of attack, ultimately transforms these incredibly expensive and sophisticated defenses into a significant liability rather than an asset. The drone swarm effectively exploits the defender's blind spots and vulnerabilities, encompassing both literal gaps in radar coverage and broader strategic weaknesses in defense planning. The emerging age of cheap, easily produced, and numerous attackers has undeniably exposed the Achilles heel, the fundamental weakness of even the most modern and advanced air defense systems. The rules of engagement have fundamentally changed, demanding a reevaluation of defense strategies. The true genius of drone swarms isn't just numbers, it's confusion. Swarms use basic AI to coordinate, attack from multiple directions, and force defenders to split their focus. Operators face dozens of blips on their screens, real threats mixed with decoys. Decision paralysis sets in, precious seconds are lost. Mixed waves of drones bait defenses, drawing fire and revealing positions, while the real attack follows. The attacker plays the odds. Launch enough drones, and some will always get through. The defender must be perfect, the attacker only needs one success. This psychological and tactical pressure gives the swarm a built-in advantage. The battlefield is now a game of chaos, statistics, and resource exhaustion. The swarm doesn't need brilliance, just unpredictability and numbers. It's easy to think US air bases are immune, but that's a dangerous assumption. Our sprawling bases surrounded by civilian land are designed to counter state-level threats, not swarms of cheap drones. Components for a drone attack can be bought online and assembled in a garage. A small group could launch a swarm from just outside a base, with little warning. The threat isn't just from abroad. It could come from a rented house or a patch of desert next door. Attackers could study patrols, identify targets, and strike in minutes. The attack on Pskov was launched from inside Russia. The same logic applies here. The next threat to US air power may not cross an ocean. It may cross the street. The era of homegrown swarm attacks is here. Our defenses must adapt, or risk being outflanked by ingenuity. The threat is closer than we think. US air bases have layers of security and advanced counter-drone systems. But protecting a massive base from all directions is a daunting, expensive challenge. Swarms can simply fly around limited defenses, exploiting gaps and blind spots. Many counter-drone tools, jammers, lasers, microwaves, have limitations. Weather, line of sight, or the ability to handle only a few targets at once. No single system is a silver bullet. Our aircraft often sit exposed on open tarmacs, making tempting targets. A swarm doesn't need to destroy everything. Just a few jets or a fuel depot can cripple operations. The US fortress is strong, but not invulnerable. The scale and complexity of our bases create opportunities for attackers. The cost of failure is high, and the margin for error is shrinking. Even the best defenses can be outpaced by a determined, creative adversary. The risk is real and growing. Imagine this, a scenario ripped from tomorrow's headlines. June 7th, 2025. A seemingly ordinary day, about to turn catastrophic. Creech Air Force Base, Nevada, a sprawling complex in the desert, the heart of America's drone operations, a critical node in global security. But miles away, a small cell, operating from a nondescript rental unit nearby, is about to change everything. They meticulously assemble a swarm of 60 advanced drones, each programmed with a deadly purpose. Under cover of night, cloaked in darkness, they launch from a hidden site, their silent ascent a prelude to chaos. The swarm splits into 3 distinct groups, each with a specific objective. The first wave acts as a decoy, deliberately drawing fire and activating the base's defenses. As defenders scramble, focusing on the obvious threat, the real attack comes swiftly and silently from unexpected directions. Drones relentlessly dive onto parked MQ-9 Reapers, the pride of the fleet, and critical satellite dishes, the bases linked to the world. They are precisely targeting America's drone fleet and its vital control hub, aiming to cripple the entire operation. Explosions ripple violently across the base. The night sky is lit up with fire. Alarms blare, a cacophony of warning, but it's far too late to mount an effective defense. Within a mere 90 seconds, the meticulously planned attack is over, leaving behind a scene of utter devastation. The operatives vanish silently into the night, disappearing as quickly as they arrived. They are leaving a trail of destruction and devastation behind. The heart of America's drone program is crippled, brought to its knees by a swift and calculated assault. This wasn't the work of a superpower, but by a handful of individuals armed with readily available hobbyist tech. The scenario might be hypothetical, a work of fiction, but it's chillingly plausible, a stark warning of vulnerabilities. The lesson is clear. In this new era, no base, no matter how fortified, is truly untouchable. The tools of modern warfare, once the exclusive domain of nations, are now potentially in anyone's hands, a dangerous reality. The threat is real, it's evolving rapidly, and it demands immediate attention. In the aftermath, chaos reigns at Creech. Fires rage, smoke billows, and vital satellite links are destroyed. America's unmanned strike capability is crippled overnight. The psychological shock is immense, the strategic impact staggering. Adversaries are emboldened, seeing a cheap, effective way to strike at U.S. power. The attackers vanish without a trace, leaving only questions and fear. Was it terrorists or a nation-state proxy? The ambiguity is a weapon in itself. The attack is a wake-up call, exposing a failure to adapt. The military prepared for yesterday's threats, while the nature of conflict evolved. The new danger isn't fleets of bombers, but clouds of disposable machines. The scramble to catch up begins, but the warning came in fire and smoke. The Pentagon is racing to build a shield against drone swarms. High-energy lasers promise cheap, instant kills but must scale up to handle full swarms. High-power microwaves can fry multiple drones at once but remain experimental. The most futuristic solution? Our own AI-guided interceptor swarms battling attackers in the sky. DARPA and others are developing these systems, but they're not yet widely deployed. The gap between threat and defense is real and dangerous. The technology to launch a devastating swarm is cheap and available now. The technology to stop one is still catching up. This window of vulnerability keeps defense planners awake at night. The arms race is on, and the stakes are high. The future battlefield will be a contest of swarms, speed, and adaptation. The clock is ticking. The drone swarm isn't just a new weapon, it's a revolution in warfare. Cheap manufacturing, open-source software, and AI have put air power in anyone's hands. The barrier to entry for military threats has collapsed. Traditional defense cycles can't keep up. Attackers can adapt in weeks, not years. The side that learns and adapts fastest will win. Not the one with the most expensive weapons. We must embrace rapid innovation, empower smaller tech players, and collaborate across sectors. The future will see fully autonomous swarms, learning and coordinating on their own. The threat is here, now, and growing. The night of the cardboard drones was a warning shot. If we fail to adapt, the next swarm could strike at home. The time to prepare is not tomorrow. It was yesterday. The age of the drone swarm has arrived. The world must adapt, or be left behind.